Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. And welcome back to another Horrorpalooza. This is number 15. So this is not 14. This is 15. My last video was 14. This is my 15th review of my horror month, and it is the 2013 box office hit, scary, one of the best scary movies of that year before The Conjuring came out, and that is Mama. Yes, or Mama. Yeah. This was a really awesome freaking horror movie. Like, if you want to see a horror movie that's an original film that's not a remake or a sequel or spin-off or anything like that, Mama is a way to go. Because I think there was a guy here on YouTube that wanted to review this movie, but he disqualified it from a tournament, so he's not reviewing it. I'm glad I'm reviewing it because I think this movie is good. There are a lot of good points in this film. This film is very well shot. Like, the director of this, he's some Hispanic guy, but he's either Hispanic or Italian, one of those. But he has a really good eye for detail. The film looks fantastic. Like, every shot in the movie is like a work of art. They don't shake the camera. The director doesn't shake the camera. It's a visual experience. It's a beautiful, shot, well balanced film that is pretty much, it's almost an art house flick horror film, because that's what it looks like. And the film's budget is used to good, measure. And this is has a really decent cast. Like, the reason that I enjoyed this more than freaking the Underworld films is because it has a lead actress that I like, Jessica Chastain. She plays like a goth emo, but a likable character named Annabelle, who is the aunt of these two children, these two little girls, that their dad was killed by a spirit that lives in the building. And basically they communicate with this spirit, and they call her Mama, because basically she was a mom that was killed a long time ago. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody else out there, but she wants to embrace these children as her own. That's basically the gist of it. And Jessica Chastain is there to try to protect them. It's a really creepy movie. Like, there's some jump scares, but the way Mama looks, it's a CGI creature. It looks like a ghost, but it's like if Fembusters was done right, this is the way the ghost should look. Not neon blue or neon green. You make it creepy, or you make it at least good looking. This is good looking CGI. The creature is very, very, the close-ups of the creature looks fantastic for a CG creature, because it's not a big budget. This is a very minimal budget for a horror film. And it's creepy. Like, it's really scary. The moments that Mama comes through the ground or through a wall, it's really frightening. There's scenes where there's like black moths on the windows and on the ceiling, or like through the walls. It's really, really creepy stuff. The imagery in this movie, it's done by Guillermo del Toro. I think he was one of the producers, so it looks like one of his films, and he's a very visual director, so he influenced this director to just go for it. And it's a really good looking film. Like, the imagery alone is scarier than having tons of gore. It's a PG-13, but the imagery is what keeps you involved. It's very creepy. It's engaging. I know some people say it's not scary, it's just jump scares the whole time. Believe me, atmosphere is scarier than 10 gallons of gore, or a jump scare every 5 seconds, or somebody opening a door and then something pops out. No, here it's pretty damn terrifying. Like, I was watching this in the library, and there was some things like got me. I was like, oh shit, that's what Mama looks like. Even just seeing Mama coming through the walls, that's scary, man. Especially since it's with two little girls. You have a baby girl that's like a couple years old, and then she's like 4 years old or 3 years old, and she could barely talk. And it's two Canadian girls, but hey, they're good actresses. They're kid actors that actually, when they're scared or when they're screaming or when they look terrified, like they're like bloodshot eyes, you believe it. This is not kids that they got from Barney the Dinosaur. This is real kid actors. They have to carry the film with Jessica Chastain. They tell them about Mama. They talk to a doctor, and they record their progress. So, that they gotta. These girls are survivors, because they survive almost 5 years alone. Of course, it's not gonna really happen. They would have died of starvation because they didn't have anybody to take care of them. But it's not realistic. It's a movie. You let it go. But the guy from Game of Thrones, he's there. I didn't really care for him. Nikolai Coster, whatever his name is. He was in Gods of Egypt, which I thought was horrible. There's a reason that they don't kill him off, but they do. They in the beginning of the film, like halfway through it, he gets injured, so he's pretty much on the in the hospital for half the movie. His acting's not horrible, but I think Jessica Chastain is the real star of this movie. She gets top billing. She's the best actress, and she is freaking awesome. Even as an emo character, you care about her. She's not some, I'm gonna slash my wrist kind of a bitch. No, she's caring. She cares about the two girls, and they're not even her daughters. They're her pretty much her, like her nieces, I guess, in a way, or adopted children, and it's really well done. This is a really scary movie. I think The Conjuring is better because I swear I was in the I saw that in the theater and I was scared out of my mind. My friend doesn't think it's scary. That's fine, but it scared the shit out of me. This, it pretty much, my heart was racing. I was at the edge of my seat, and it's a film from 2013. Yet a horror film from this year is not half of them weren't scary. I want to see Lights Out and Conjuring 2 and etc. But this is one that's going to hold up because it's pretty damn creepy. Just atmosphere. You look at this film. You look at the haunted house. You look at Mama. You look at the freaking imagery. It just sucks you in. It's like when you look at that, you're like, oh shit, things are going to go down. And it's well done. Like, this is a really good film. Problems? Well, there's some characters that are kind of get thrown, kind of get wasted. Like the band that's with that sings with Jessica Chastain. They're kind of like in two scenes and then they disappear. The dad in the beginning of the film, he disappears. And there's a couple of characters here and there. They're miscellaneous. They're just there to either get killed or thing. Also, I didn't like the aunt that wants to take custody of the two girls. I'm glad she gets it at the end because she was kind of a bitch. And I thought Jessica Chastain is like, if you don't get out of here, I'm going to kick your ass. She has some really good dialogue. That's why. See, she's emo, but she can care about people. And unlike Kate Beckinsale, who I think is boring to watch, and I've never been a fan of hers in the last 10 years since I saw Click, Chastain has gotten Oscar nominations, which means she can act, and it means that she interests me. And the story in this movie kept me interested. Her character worked well with the two girls, and at the end, she stops at nothing to keep them away from Mama. And I don't want to spoil it, but it's a good movie. It's scary. It got the praise, and for the most part, it got plenty of box office. I think it deserves it. And I don't need a sequel. I'm sorry. You cannot be creepier than this one. If you do a sequel, if you don't have the original cast back, there's no point. Just keep it as one film. I want it to stand alone because, if you do a spin-off or a prequel, you get Paranormal Activity or you get Annabelle, which is considered a shitty film compared to The Conjuring. And I don't want any of that. I want a good horror film, and this is a good one. If you want to scare the crap out of somebody that you live with, this is not for children, though. Even though it's not that gory, this is not a kid's film. Don't let the PG-13 fool you. There's plenty of imagery that could give them nightmares. I would not recommend this for children. Teenagers and adults only. Don't let a child watch this because they might not sleep for a week. Me, I'm going to be okay. I sat through it. It was shorter than the first Underworld. I couldn't sit through that. I'm not reviewing those films, sorry. For those of you that wanted to know my thoughts, I thought the first film bored me to tears, and I didn't bother with the second one. This, I saw instead, and I'm glad I did. It's a good movie. It's creepy. It's got good acting. It's well-paced. It's only an hour and 30-something minutes. It's not 2 hours of my life, and it doesn't drag, and it's very and it's very engaging. It fascinates me how this movie was made. A director that has a good eye for detail, and it shows with every shot in this film. And while it's not 100% original, we've seen a lot of ghost stories with spirits haunting a family. And we saw it in The Conjuring, but this was well done. And I'm going to give it credit where credit's due. So, Mama, I would definitely recommend it. Don't listen to the critics because they're going to say, oh, this movie's cliche, it's overrated, it's this and that. A scary horror film, when it gets me, I'm going to give it a praise. Whether it's an old movie or not, I give it the pass when it's done right. And this was done right. So anyway, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing. Mama is a good film. Give it a watch. For this Halloween season is perfect. The atmosphere alone will probably grab you by the throat and just won't let go until the end. That's what it did for me. But anyway, it's not for everybody, though. I'm going to say that. This is not for everybody. It's not for children and people that are scared of everything. Just you know, you have to have a strong will to see this, and I did. So anyway, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting on my videos. You guys are awesome, and stay tuned for more reviews.